Hi, this is Nancy with Seeking Truth Always, and I'm here with a brief little update for you about MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. Let's not lose sight of what President Trump is doing and Robert Kennedy, RFK is doing. You know, in MAHA, in making our lives healthier again, making America healthy again. And in the midst of so much going on in our world, so much going on in our country, we may lose sight of the progress that is being made in many other areas, one of which is Make America Healthy Again. And today, a report was released out of Florida that I wanted to bring your attention to, because it involves and affects our children and us, but our children and our grandchildren. We need to be aware. We need to know what's going on out there. There was a huge exposure in the candy industry just today. And I want to screen share. I'm going to share my screen to show you what I'm talking about. I mean, how many kids eat candy? How many grandparents buy their grandkids candy? Parents buy their kids candy, or they're eating the candy themselves. This is my Seeking Truth Always channel in X, and if you're looking for me there, it's my username there is Truth with Nancy. Seeking Truth Always wasn't available for whatever reason with my username when I made this account a few years ago. And so anyway, Truth with Nancy. But you can also find it with the channel name Seeking Truth Always. It's got the blue check, so you know that's real, and it's mine, not somebody copycatting or whatever. I'm also trying to build up followers in different social media accounts. I focused primarily on Rumble, and I'm still going to be focusing on Rumble, but it's been almost 5 years. Got almost 6,000 followers on Rumble. Thank you for all of you that follow me on Rumble. And I've focused on Facebook. I already had about 2,300 friends when this all started, Seeking Truth Always, when God brought this ministry to me and called me to be on the front lines of the digital warfare almost 5 years ago now. But I've got over 4,000 followers now in Facebook. I had none 5 years ago. I had friends, like I said, about 2,300, but I still have the friends, but now I have over 4,000 followers. So if you're following me on Facebook, thank you so much for the follows and the comments and the support and so forth. But I am striving. The Lord put it in my heart. I need to focus now and more on some of my other social media. And that's because I reach more people. If my accounts get more exposure, if there are more follows, if there are more comments, if there are more likes in any of the accounts, and this being X, the truth will get more exposure, and more people will be able to awaken more, maybe awaken for the first time. So if you could give me a follow, if you haven't followed me yet in X, I would sure appreciate it. And while we're at it, if you go to YouTube, I just created that channel a couple of weeks ago. And it's under Seeking Truth Always. To find it, you would use the @ sign, Nancy Seeking Truth Always. That's what the account is under, the @ sign, the symbol. And Nancy Seeking Truth Always. I would really appreciate the follow on YouTube as well. And if you're on True Social, just go to Seeking Truth Always. You'll find me there as well. And I would really appreciate the follows. So I can just help more people in their awakening journey. So anyway, this being my X account, I post regularly and share from different accounts things that I think are helpful and will be necessary information that people should be aware of if they're seeking truth, as we are here at Seeking Truth Always. And today this update is coming out of the Florida Department of Health. And the post here states that the Florida Department of Health found 26 children candy brands that contained dangerous elevated levels of arsenic. I just want to bring attention to MJ Truth Ultra. This is who posted it and made me aware of it, so I thank him. And he's a great account to follow if you haven't yet. Look him up because he's always doing current updates, many different topics, many different areas of truth. So go to MJ Truth Ultra as well. But this is a astounding, not really for me because I knew they were doing this, but the exposure. It's an astounding, amazing exposure of the candy companies and what they're still have been putting into the candies that our children and grandchildren eat. And the first section here, and they are pointing out the amount of arsenic, and it's measured in parts per billion. That's what the ppb means. And in the Ferrara Candy Company, if you're not familiar, I'm not familiar with that name, but I am familiar with Nerds. I am familiar with Sweethearts. I am familiar with Laffy Taffy. And these candies were candies I bought for my grandkids when they were young. And, if I was buying them a treat, this is some of their favorites, these kids' candy. And look at the amount of arsenic in these, anywhere from 350 or 370, it looks like 370 parts per billion, all the way up to 500 parts per billion of arsenic in these very well-known candies that our kids love. And then you go down to the Hershey Company. And the Hershey Company, like cookies and cream, really targeting the kids, but adults like it too. Cookies and cream, 280 parts per billion. Jolly Ranchers, how many adults, put a Jolly Rancher in their mouth for a little sweet treat? 540 parts per billion for the sour apple. And Twizzlers, how many like licorice? How about the strawberry and the cherry? 350 parts per billion in the cherry and 500 parts per billion in the strawberry. If you go to watermelon, it's 510 parts per billion. But let's not leave Nestle out. Kit Kat. Kit Kat always was my favorite candy bar. Always. And when it was made in dark chocolate, oh my gosh, my favorite. And Kit Kat is a kid's favorite. 230 parts per billion in Kit Kat. And then you go to the Mars Company, Three Musketeers, Snickers, and Skittles. Another one of my grandkids' favorite was Skittles. Bought them Skittles multiple times. I mean, that was one of their favorites. 370 parts per billion of arsenic. And Snickers, that was my mom's favorite candy bar. She loves Snickers. It's not just kids. 350 parts per billion. Now there's a company called Mondelez International. I never heard of Mondelez International. Maybe you have, but I haven't. But I have heard of Sour Patch Kids and Swedish Fish. Again, these kind of things my grandsons loved. Anywhere from 220 parts per billion to 470 parts per billion. How about Tootsie Roll? That's been around like all my life. As a kid, I ate Tootsie Rolls. Anywhere from 370 parts per billion to 570 parts per billion for Tootsie Roll candies. And then there's a Smart Sweets. They're even marketed, look at this, they're even marketed as healthier. And they're 180 parts per billion. Well, I guess that's a lower number than most of these others. But also 240 parts per billion for Smart Sweets Caramel. Again, like thinking of my mom, she loved caramels. Not that this company was around then, but adults love these candies too. But let's listen to what in this study.
Promised.
Let's listen to what she has to say about the study that was released to educate the public and let them know that this is exposed. They know, we know, and it's being fixed. Making America healthy again means it's being fixed. So let's listen to this very brief, less than a minute video here.
Promised, the attention has turned to another category heavily consumed by children, and that is candy. Through independent testing conducted by certified laboratories, the Florida Department of Health tested 46 different candy brands from 10 different companies. Of those, 33 were traditional, well-known candies, brands that we grew up with, things like Three Musketeers and Snickers and Skittles and Nerds and Kit Kats and Jolly Ranchers. In 26 of the 33 traditional candy brands tested, arsenic was detected at elevated levels. These promised, the attention has turned to another category heavily consumed by.
Yeah, so that is the good news and the bad news. The bad news is what we've all been eating if we've been eating candy. It's what we've been eating. It's what they have been allowing, the powers that be, the globalists, the ones that really don't like us, the ones that want to eliminate the, quote, useless eaters in the world. That comes directly from the World Economic Forum, calling humanity useless eaters. But they fill the foods full of poisons and things that make us sick, make our kids, be having all different kinds of health issues. It's no wonder. It was planned, it was organized. But the good news is, it's being exposed. It is being fixed. MAHA, Make America Healthy Again. President Trump and RFK Jr., God bless them for what they're doing to make America, to make our children healthy again, to make us healthier. Thank you to our promises made, promises kept President Donald J. Trump. I've called him that from the, almost, long before anyone else was calling it. It just came to my heart, it came to my spirit. And I've been calling, those that follow me know that I've called him that for the whole almost 5 years I've been with you guys doing podcasts and videos. So be sure to look me up on Rumble if you haven't yet. All of my podcasts are listed there. All of them are there. I've got 40, close to 50 pages of videos over the last almost 5 years. Probably 3/4 of them podcasts and the other quarter just information like this. So yeah, check me out on Rumble. Be sure to follow me and subscribe on the different channels. I would sure appreciate it. I hope this was helpful, and I hope that you share it. Please do share it. Would love to hear your comments. What are you surprised by this? Maybe not anymore because we're all learning. But if any of you are new and just learning this stuff, yeah, let me know in the comments. I look forward to reading them and hearing what y'all think. So God bless you. Thanks for watching, and please share and like and subscribe. And with that, this is Nancy with Seeking Truth Always, and I look forward to being with you next time.